Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
I'm Tommy.
And today we are going to be reviewing Ready to Love Season 3. Oh, what episode is this? 12?
I don't know.
Episode 12, Reunion Part 2. I think it's 12. It'll be correct in the description box or in the title. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. All right, so we started with Jay and Joy because that's where we left off on the last episode. They basically gave a whole bunch of nonsense that says they're cultivating a relationship. Joy kept calling it a situationship, which says to me they're having sex. I'm done with Jay and Joy. You got anything?
Nah.
All right. Next up was Sam and Danny. They talked about the two of them leaving as they were the first two to actually leave the resort. Danny basically said, you know, she give homegirl vibes because she is a homegirl and you should be friends with the person that you're in a relationship with. Sorry, not sorry. Sam said he got a baby on the way.
I actually forgot about them.
I didn't.
At the beginning, I was like, who are these guys?
I didn't forget about them because Winter has a YouTube series. It's not her own channel, but it's on someone else's channel called Wine with Winter. And she was, I don't know if she's still continuing to do it, but she was going through each person as in the order of elimination and doing interviews with them.
Yeah. You watch those?
I just said I watched.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Okay. But yeah, so we got to see them there. Sam was still just as weird as he was on the show as he was with Winter. Still there. Good luck with the baby on the way. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these is just kind of like run through, boom, boom, boom. Really don't have much to say about. I mean,
you can't have much to say about Danny and Sam because they left on like literally the first episode.
Did you think it was awkward seeing like their awkward moments and then watching it? But I was like, the Shay part, like Shay's parts when she was talking with Sam.
We ain't got to her yet.
No, we haven't got to her. But when she was talking to Sam about Sam, something like that, I was like, oh, this is awkward because I thought it was awkward in the beginning when Sam was trying to talk to her and they was talking about chefing and doing all this other stuff. So, yeah.
Sam has to know that he's awkward. And that's no slight to him because like there's a whole like group. Issa Rae wrote a whole show about being awkward. So it's not an issue with being awkward. Sam just has to know that he's awkward and it doesn't translate well to everyone.
I'm pretty sure he does.
It obviously is translated well enough that he got 3 kids by 3 different women. So somebody likes his awkwardness, but in all fairness, Sam is awkward.
Yep. I don't know. Good luck to those guys.
Next up was Raymond and Shay. I was wondering why they put the two of them together when they started because I was like, I don't remember any interactions at the resort with Raymond and Shay. And then apparently
they're dating apparently
or something. And then he wanted to deny it and I'm like,
she was like, you lying.
Why are we doing this? Raymond is 52 years old. And I think that while he might feel that he's ready for a relationship, his actions don't say so. Yeah. Because if we're talking to each other in a romantic sense, it shouldn't be that difficult to say yes.
Right.
Ask the question. Unless you're trying to keep your options open for somebody else.
Which I feel like is silly. What he said was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. When he was like,
he said a lot of dumb things.
He said, if you shack for 10 years, you married. No, it doesn't work like that.
No, you're going to be listed as a special friend in the obituary.
Right. So I feel like
And I'm not trying to say that everybody needs to get married, because marriage is not the cure-all for whatever it is out there. But my thing is for me, myself personally, I don't want to be somebody's girlfriend for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. But if your goal isn't marriage, you need to get with somebody else whose goal is not marriage. Yeah. I think that may have been an issue with going on a dating show, because most of the people there were either seeking to get married in the future or had been married and were willing to get married again. And Ray didn't fall into any of that. None of those.
And it makes it interesting that him and Shay are like talking to each other or dating each other, just because it's like, what's the end goal for both of you guys? Ray is just looking for a companion that they can have sex for a little minute, but nothing more than
somebody he can take to his kids' high school graduation and stun on his baby mama.
Right. That's what it is.
I don't know.
Just trying to have some fun, go on trips together with, and stuff like that. So, but I don't know, man. But
I didn't get a lot from them.
Right.
I don't really see them romantically involved, but do them.
Yeah, whatever works for them, man.
All right, next up, the moment we've all been waiting for. Naya and Chris. We talked about misobliging his interests, and my boyfriend gonna pick me up in Atlanta. I was like,
I just feel like she expects everybody to bow at her feet for things dealing with her, like she's the prize.
I mean, and as a woman, you should feel that you are the prize. But as a person, you should feel like you are a prize. But Naya is not the prize. She is a prize to someone, but she's trying to make it seem like she is the prize to everyone.
Right.
And that's not how it goes. In the
I just don't like her attitude towards.
They gave some never before seen footage of her basically saying she don't like Edwin and she don't like Chris. And I kind of felt sorry for Edwin because like Chris has washed his hands of the situation.
Yeah.
Cool. Kudos to you, Chris.
I still felt bad for Chris, though.
Yeah, but kudos to Chris for like, it's not working out. He's not harping on it. He's not trying to change anything about it. He's just like, whatever, I'm done with it. And Edwin is like, I know the person that she is. And I'm like, but do you? Right.
That's a true question. It's kind of like, you saw what she said and did to Chris.
Mm-hmm. You saw how she acted with Rashid. And Rashid was not even a love interest of any sort. Rashid was just the nice guy that had to basically tell you going home, and she couldn't take that. And then all of this, I have a boyfriend here, I'm dating here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. She was like, I was just being funny. No, I don't think it's being funny. I think that it makes it seem like you have a problem.
Right.
Like you don't take rejection well. And it's okay because, most people don't take rejection like great, but like you take it a step further and you like turn nasty.
It's kind of like, how when guys get rejected from a girl and then the very next thing they do is call her a B.
F-U-B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like that. Yeah. It's so unfair to the person that's doing the rejection.
Yeah.
And it's unfair. It's sad to the person that's being rejected because, it takes a lot for somebody to come up and talk to somebody. But then it also takes a lot for somebody to take that criticism, like to take that no and turn it into a positive, which in Naya's case, she couldn't turn it into a positive. So it's your loss.
But I think she could have. She could have honestly turned it into a positive because we saw other people be sent home. Like, grand example, even though she's a little crazy, Simone.
Yeah.
Simone got sent home and Simone literally was just like, I had a great time. I've learned a lot about myself. And like, even on the show, when they were asking at the ending, like what's next for her, she was like, I'm dating, but I'm dating so much better. Like I'm the best potential girlfriend that I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how you take it in a positive way. because she could be out here cussing out people like Naya, and that's just not the answer.
I just feel like Naya's attitude towards rejection, and that's essentially what it was. It's like she doesn't understand that her words have meaning and there's consequences behind her words. Mm-hmm. You know, you came with one goal in mind. I want to find a man to get me pregnant, and, you know, I take care of the kids and stuff like that. But all the other stuff that happens before that, you didn't think about that. And then the fact that you didn't think about it, you run into an answer talking about Chris's response to the question of the bills. You run into an answer that you're like, no, that's not how it goes. But then
it could have just literally been that's not the man for me.
That's not the man for me. Or even further in the conversation is, let's have a conversation about that, because I guarantee you before that question was asked, they never talked about it.
Well, one of the things that she did get into also with that answer, going back to that, was she said that the issue wasn't with what Chris said. It was because other people were coming to her about the conversation that she and Chris had. And I was like, okay, I can get that, but that's something that you address with Chris.
Right.
Whether you don't want to say it on camera, you shoot him a text message. I know you got his number.
Right. By this time.
At this point, because it wasn't like there were no phones on the resort. Like, you could get in touch with people. But that's a pull away conversation and not a lash out, I'm obliging his interests, be rude, be nasty type situation.
But then you also think about what worked in the past for her. Obviously being rude and
it didn't work because she doesn't have a man.
I'm saying it like at some point in her time it worked. Being rude, being nasty towards people worked at some point in time for her. That's why she did it.
But then you have to step back. Did it work?
It obviously didn't work.
Because like if you think that it worked, and then
her and Edwin are quote, I don't know what you call this thing, man, that they're doing. I was like, Edwin needs to be careful with that.
They talking.
Yeah, they talking.
Until Edwin says the wrong thing, and then she was obliging his interest too.
Yeah.
But she said that they're not exclusive because she was saying that she's dating other guys.
Which I don't think, if you don't consider like the situations that you're in to be exclusive, you'll never be exclusive with anybody.
The movie Drumline taught me something, and it said Southern girls don't date, we have boyfriends. I mean, it's a flaw, obviously, because you have to date to find out which, like every guy you meet can't be your boyfriend. Right. But she's doing a lot of dating, and it makes me wonder, and this is the second reference that I've made to this, but like Chili with her dating show on VH1, she had a super long list of standards, and yet she still ended up alone. I'm not saying that Naya is going to end up alone, but there's something that she needs to reevaluate as to why, because what she wants is a spouse and children. She has to reevaluate why she's not meeting the men to become a spouse to give her children, because there's something that's not clicking for somebody. I don't know.
Right.
But obviously, when you get into it, the common denominator is always self.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's what you're looking for and what you're
putting out.
Yeah.
What you're putting out ends up being directly correlated to what you're attracting. Yeah. So
she basically seems to be attracting a bunch of guys that just want to date her. Like, we can go out for a few dates, here and there, and then, I'm out the door because either you lose interest or I lose interest, and we keep it pushing. So I think it's an attitude thing and how you're looking at it towards the whole situation. So
agreed.
Chris definitely has a better outlook on everything. So good luck to him. Good luck to all of them, man. Really.
All right, you done with them?
Yeah.
Next, we have Denise and Rashid versus the color complex. As someone who doesn't consider themselves light-skinned, but people in society do consider me light-skinned, I hear a lot on the light-skinned, dark-skinned spectrum because, like, people like to point out skin color as if it's something that you can choose.
Yeah.
There's not much about your overall look that you can choose without going to get plastic surgery or doing skin lightening or tanning or whatever that may be. But like what you choose, what you're born with, you can't really adjust. And in that, Denise basically was hurt by someone that looked similar to Rashid. Obviously had to been same fraternity or something, because she like grouped all of them in together, and she said that he was narcissistic because of it. And she got really, really upset with Adriana because Adriana brought it back to Rashid. I don't know what we were expecting to happen on a resort.
Yeah, I don't either.
That conversations weren't going to get back to people because...
Like, first off, with her talking about Rashid, she obviously knew Adriana and Rashid were like talking to each other.
Because that conversation came after Adriana said, Rashid is my man.
Right. So if you know that, why not keep that to yourself if you didn't expect her to say something?
Right.
Versus it actually even saying something to her. You know? I think we all have that blind eye to noticing people are light skinned or dark skinned, white, black, you know, Hispanic. We all have that.
We're not colorblind. Like literally,
we see it.
it's a descriptor.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily want people to believe that you behave a certain way, based on the shade of your complexion, because that is not like it's not a determinant of how you how you present yourself in society.
Man, that's something you need to repeat for the country.
It might be how society perceives you, but it is not how you present yourself to society in most cases. Some people do, but I don't think most people are into it in that way. Denise did give a half apology. Like, she basically swept it under the rug. If you felt this way, then I'm sorry you felt that way.
I feel like when people give an apology, don't give an apology because somebody told you. You should apologize for that. You should be, especially like grown people. I can see children doing this, or even like 18, 19, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, maybe. But once you get up into a certain age, you should know if you want to apologize for something or not. And I feel like if you don't want to apologize for it, don't. That's your prerogative. That's your choice. But you're being more sincere of saying, I don't want to apologize for it because I don't think I was wrong in anything, and leave it at that. You have to then deal with the consequence behind it of somebody basically saying, I ain't messing with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, they come to grips with whatever is going on and they move completely past it. You know, so I like that, like, because it's more to talk about now that she gave that half apology than if it would have been, she'd be like, no, I don't want to apologize for it.
Like, I said what I said.
I said it. It is what it is. That's what I thought.
Exactly.
And move on from it, man. But like, I strongly believe if you're going to apologize for something, mean it. Don't half-ass it and expect me to be like, oh, okay, everything's all peachy. Let me know where things go.
Everything else is going to flow from... No, you're good. Everything else is just going to flow from this conversation. I'm just letting you know that this is just going to wrap up the ending.
Oh, okay.
So in that same conversation, Denise said Adriana was, I believe she used the word disrespectful to her.
I don't know what she used.
I think she said she was disrespectful. And a lot of it was, I think that Denise wanted to treat Adriana like a child.
Yeah.
Because she was so much younger than her.
She was the youngest.
Because she's 31.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the other Ready to Love's like age ranges were, but like most dating shows are skewed where Adriana would be one of the oldest people. And then this one is skewed where she's the youngest person. So it's a little bit...
It's different.
It's a different dynamic. And I think that Denise wanted to basically make Adriana the child and you stop talking when adults are speaking and you do what I say. Yeah. And Adriana wasn't that type of person, or isn't that type of person. I don't want to say
she shouldn't be. She's grown.
No, absolutely. I'm agreeing. Like she should not have backed down for that reason, like for any reason, because I don't think that anything that Adriana was doing was malicious. Granted, we didn't see the full spectrum of everything that was recorded, but the way that things were presented, Adriana wasn't doing anything malicious. Adriana wasn't disrespectful. Adriana just happened to be talking to one guy that Denise did not like at all, and one guy that Denise really liked.
Right.
But I think that
at one point, they put it on Neighborhood.
Yeah, she was like...
It's like, what? What does that got to do with
I'm assuming that it's some projects because it's the word homes was in it. And she was like, we don't act like that in whatever homes it is. And it's like, girl, okay. Do you live there now?
She was like, I grew up in whatever. It was like, put that on Neighborhood.
Okay. So,
oh, man.
In the ending of that... They said that they had squashed it, and Nephew Tommy asked Adriana, and this is something that I completely respect Adriana for, and I wish I had more of it in me. When he asked her, was she good? She said no, but I don't think I ever will be with that, so I'm just done with that situation. I feel that way, but I never verbalized that to the other person. So I wish I could put a little bit of that part of Adriana in my back pocket and take it along with me for the rest of my life.
You can, man.
Because I usually just tell people it's cool, even though I don't mean that it's cool, because I'm just ready to dead the situation. Yeah. But I think that Denise did spend way too much time trying to down Adriana, by way of manipulating her choices of guys. Yeah. Than just saying this is healthy competition, may the best woman win. So
I don't think Adriana, I'm not Adriana.
Denise.
But Denise I ain't gonna say she didn't understand, but I feel like she got way ahead of herself when it came to California, because she was like, oh, California this, California that. And never, she tried to date other people, but it was so focused on California is my guy that when she saw California, she said she wasn't jealous, but her actions say something completely different as we saw. And I just feel like she focused too much on California outside of their dates.
Right. And to go back into that, the next thing that I wrote down was about Adriana, Rashid, Denise, and Calfani, where Denise admitted that she was playing games with Calfani when she said that they had to break up because she wanted him to fight for her, essentially. And that wouldn't...
That backfired.
Don't work. And she completely admitted I was playing games. I shouldn't have been, but I was. And I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. At this point, you can't undo it. We did get into Rashid saying that he was all in for Adriana from the beginning. And he says that he chalks up the reason that they didn't end up together was because they're at different ages and stages. And Adriana seemed like she got a little bit defensive about it, saying he would not have said that if they would have ended up together. My answer to that is duh.
Right. He wouldn't have had a reason to.
Exactly. I don't know that age was the issue, but I do think it's a level of the stage of life. Rashid was married for 10 years. He's been divorced now. And he's explained himself as a person that is for relationships. He wants to be in a relationship, and he's ready to be married again and have more kids, which he's in his 40s. Right. Not to say he doesn't have a lot of time, but being an active parent, doing all these things for kids, you don't want to be 50 having a 1-year-old. Yeah. You would like to do it while you have some time and you have the energy and you want to do things with your kids. So, I completely get it. while Rashid was talking, though, she was having a bit of a conversation with Calfani, and Nephew Tommy pointed that out. Like, you didn't even hear anything that he had to say, and he was basically explaining everything to you, and you was too busy listening to this other dude. So, I mean, I say that to basically say, I feel like she played herself a little bit. It was listening to her daddy that made her play herself. But I mean, I hope she finds love. We haven't gotten into why she played herself. What did I put next? Denise says that she never got jealous of Calfani and Adriana. Calfani called BS. I think everybody else on the stage did too. And then last up, we found out that Adriana and Calfani are not together. So this was a completely unsuccessful Ready to Love season.
Yeah, I don't know if the other seasons had somebody that like actually succeeded and went on to be with each other and that part. But Calfani, it was messed up how Calfani did this. You know,
right? So okay, so you didn't watch. I only got to see part of it, but Calfani did a live with Edwin, and Edwin's internet was bad, so I stopped watching. But he essentially told the story of what happened. So he got back from the resort, and he had a note on his door from an ex-girlfriend. And he says that, you know, the two of them rekindled, and he sat down with Adriana after he had to talk with the ex-girlfriend to let her know everything. So it wasn't just a we done. Like, let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. And essentially he said that this was an ex that he didn't break up with on bad terms. This was someone who I guess her family was from out of the country, and she abruptly just moved back home. And when she came back here, that's when she left a note on his door. So she didn't even know that he was doing the show or anything, because they had lost contact with each other for that reason. He was like, he really felt that this woman was who God put in his life. And, you know, everything about their relationship was perfect except for her leaving. And she knew his kids and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And he's just like, I have to make sure that I nurture this, because this is... He doesn't want to have the what if, essentially. That's not his words, but that's basically what he said. I'm not trying to be Denise. But
that was crazy.
Right. So with that, I mean, I kind of get it. I felt like it really, really hurt Adriana. But
I don't get it, man. I feel like if you're like dating this person, or you went on this big show to figure it out, at least give it a chance to blossom into something. Like, I feel like he like how the story is said, you know, he got a note on his door when he gets back, and then the next day he's like, Adriana, we can't, I don't know if it was the next day or not, but you know, he stopped everything with Adriana to pursue this other girl. It's kind of,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's kind of like it's just messed up on the like.
No, it looks bad. Absolutely,
every way you put it, you know, even telling the story, it looks terrible, dog. Like,
no, I fully agree. It looks bad, but I understand, like, you saying that you want to know what happened with this other person. Like, I get that part, but yes, it looks bad. What I question is, and I don't think anyone has asked them this question as of yet, I question what would he have done if he and Adriana had been 6 months into a relationship rather than the day after they got back from Ready to Love? Because at that point, that would be your girlfriend. Do you just drop your girlfriend for your ex-girlfriend? Because it's easy to drop a person that you're not really in a relationship with. But when you go into the, I've done the work, I'm with this person, I know this person, I love this person, what do? You
I don't know, man. At some point, you got to stop going back.
At some point
you have to, and I guess you have to figure out what that point is.
And I mean, we've all done it though.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say we all, but most people have, because you've had exes that you revisited.
Yeah.
I've had exes that I've revisited, but I think they ended up being the same person that they were.
Like the same, you get the same outcome. You get what you expected. Like,
yeah. And like I had a guy that I dated more than once actually. And there was never anything that happened that made us stop dating. Yeah. It was literally like we moved on to different phases of our lives. Like I moved this way, he moved that way. And we still talked to each other, but we never came back to we should try to make this work again. But it's never let's continue talking consistently. It's always kind of like a, if I see you out, hey, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. And I guess that's what it was for him. But he had more feelings. So he was like, he think he could marry this woman. So I hope California and her like work out and, you know, they live happily ever after. I hope Adriana finds her happily ever after. I know she said that she was going to take a break from dating. COVID would have made me take a break from dating, but you know, that's just me. Me too. And then they went down the line with everyone at the ending of the episode and basically talked about where they stand and what they're doing. So I really hope at some point, because COVID not having great conditions for recording things, I do hope that they do like a Where Are They Now? Yeah. Maybe even from season 1 and season 2, and maybe like 6 months or so, just to see if any of these potential situations blossomed into anything. Right. Did Alex and David like give it a go?
Did they go on their date?
Like, did it blossom into more than one date? Yeah. Who else? Shay and Raymond.
Naya and Edwin.
Yeah, Jay and Joy. And I think that's all the couples from there. Right, but people together. Yeah. I think that's it. But yeah. Tell us what you guys thought of this episode. Do you guys think that Rashid should give Adriana another try?
Oh, no. He should definitely be done with her. The girl don't even listen to him.
I just threw that out there. It felt like the right thing to say.
That's absolutely a negative.
Do y'all think Ray and Shay are going to become a thing?
I can't call it on them.
Who else did we say? Alex and David. I really like David. Yeah. Like, I think that David
was cool.
David seemed like a good guy, and he just was in bad situations.
I liked Alex.
I did like Alex.
Pretty cool.
I said that Alex was gorgeous, and somebody was like,
I ain't gonna say gorgeous,
and I'm like, I did. No, I really do think that Alex is a beautiful girl. Like, she is like I don't like to use the word regular beauty, but she is. Like, I don't think that she has to have a ton of makeup to like be pretty. Right. Like a lot of people.
She's naturally.
Yeah, natural
pretty.
Beauty. That's the word we're trying to go for. And Winter and Anthony. I always thought that they were a little awkward together, and I didn't think it was going to work out. And I still kind of stand by that.
I just thought she did that to get to the end. Yeah, to get to the end of the show.
And I mean, I'm sure that they get paid per episode. So
I don't know, but I think it was a good season. I liked it. Closer to the end, closer to when it was less people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
Yeah, in the beginning it was way too much, and I really wasn't feeling it. But the more and more it got closer to the end,
and people have said that this was like the worst season.
Oh yeah.
And I think that I think it made things more interesting. With granted, I'm gonna just give this disclaimer: I did not watch seasons 1 and 2. I have no intentions of going back and watching seasons 1 and 2. I don't really care about them. But I think that the premise, having people stuck on a resort together, makes for I don't want to say healthier competition, but it makes for deepened connections, because you do have the people that are like the Winter and the Jays who are going to each other's room to get to know each other late at night outside the cameras, but you also don't have the focus of your traditional everyday life. Like, nobody's going to work, nobody's worrying about kids or
your main focus is getting to know somebody.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's not perfect. It's not real life.
Yeah.
Because you are going to have all these distractions in real life, but it does help you get to know a person and also eliminate people in your life very easily.
So, looking forward to whatever's next for them, and everything. And, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We did. I enjoyed doing the reviews and reading the comments and, agreeing and not agreeing with people and stuff like that. So,
yeah, and a lot of y'all give great information, because Tommy and I have gotten to the point where we try not to look at any of the spoilers at all. So all of these interviews that have been done, especially Little Black Book does some great interviews. He's getting everybody as they're getting eliminated, after the show is wrapped, he's on it. So kudos to him for getting all those guys on the show. But I've tried to steer clear from a lot of those interviews and things, because I didn't want it to taint
our opinion,
their opinion of the reaction. But I got caught up yesterday with the couch.
But we still doing other things too. So we got Married at First Sight, the review we're doing. We got August Love Story, the podcast that's actually coming out. Also with 3 Media, we got Let's Discuss. It's a new podcast and show that we're working on, where we're talking about different topics
in pop culture
and everyday life and stuff like that. So and it's like a group message that we have. We're just presenting it. So and then also we got Speaker Geekers podcast, which is me, our cousin Greg, and my best friend Steve. So we all just sitting up talking about hip hop and stuff like that. So check us out. Continue to follow us. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to the channel. Look at me taking over at the end. Look at me.
God. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Follow us on Instagram at August Love Story. Is it August Love? Just August Love Story.
That's Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. What else you be saying at the end?
I'm Artieka on Instagram. He is
at I am Tommy T the Third.
Did you say the?
Yeah. The
A. It's not the.
It's not?
It's not the. It's the.
Get somebody get her. But you guys, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for riding this wave with us on Ready to Love. What is this, season 3?
Season 3 is now officially wrapped.
Yep, season 3 is done for. So
Friday nights we get to go to sleep.
Yeah. So just be looking out for what's next with us, and stay tuned.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace.